Hey, where is he, huh? Hey, you tell me where Prince Amin. Hey, where is he? Where's Prince Amin? You tell me, huh?
Brother Gabriel, half down.
Where's Prince Amin? Oh! Where have you been? What have you been doing? Hey, you're not hanging out with these guys. Come on, let's go. This isn't you, come on.
Brother Gabriel, relinquish your sins. Join the congregation.
Join the congregation, join these. What are you talking about? What's happened to you, huh?
He's seen the lights.
He hasn't seen anything.
I've never
Seen what really? Seen the light. This isn't you, man. No, this isn't you. What are you doing, huh? Hey! Mo! 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 What are you doing?
It is time to reclaim the Defiant Championship from the man who has stolen it. Maybe the man to deliver justice to Austin Aries is the Kiwi Buzzsaw.
The following contest set for one fall. With a 30-minute time limit, it is for the Defiant Wrestling Championship. Introducing first the challenger from Auckland, New Zealand, weighing tonight at 92 kilos. He is the Kiwi Buzzsaw, Travis Banks.
You know, we spoke a few minutes ago about Mike Bailey and what a 2017 he had. Well, how about Travis Banks? He risked it all just a couple of years ago to emigrate from New Zealand over to Europe, where there's a much more thriving wrestling scene. And in 2017, Banks confirmed his status as one of the greatest independent wrestlers in the world.
And speaking of greatest, here comes the self-proclaimed greatest man who ever lived and the Defiant Wrestling Champion.
Well, if this is the greatest man that ever lived, then that's a pretty sad commentary on the state of our species.
His opponent, wrestling out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, USA, and winning tonight at 202 pounds, he is the current reigning and defending Defiant Wrestling Champion, the true Austin Aries!
Austin Aries, no stranger to championship gold. He's held it in Ring of Honor, he's held it in TNA. He has held championships all around the world. And now he is the Defiant Champion too. And he is sided with IPW.
What an opportunity for Travis Banks though. Last week, the Iron King, oh here he comes.
Well, the champion staring down both of us here as he walks past. This attempt to intimidate everyone, not just the wrestlers, but every official, every person associated with Defiant Wrestling on the part of this IPW gang headed up by Austin Aries. It's disgusting. It's one of the most disgusting things I've ever experienced in a decade of working in the pro wrestling business.
Well, as I was saying before you so rudely interrupted and tried to square up to the champ. Last week, Joe Coffey was given express permission to do whatever he wanted by General Manager Stu Bennett. He decided to show there's no animosity between he and ex-Prestige member, Travis Banks, fellow ex-Prestige member. He gave Banks this opportunity, a chance to become Defiant Champion against Austin Aries. Here we go, main event time.
Here we go then, a truly international Defiant Championship match. Austin Aries from the USA against Travis Banks of New Zealand. And you heard the chant from the fans here in Leeds, Trav is our champion.
I've got to give you something, Bradshaw. Even though Travis Banks was once a member of the Prestige, you always had this begrudging respect for Travis Banks, his skills. He has had an incredible 2017. Unbelievable. 2018 could get a whole lot bigger if he becomes the Defiant Champion.
What a way to start the year that would be in just the second week of the year if Banks wins the Defiant Championship here. And that's the aim, by the way. That is very much the aim. Joe Coffey didn't just make this match just to prove that there's no hard feelings between himself and Banks. He did it because Joe Coffey, as much as anyone, wants to get that Defiant Championship back in the Defiant locker room, and he thinks Travis Banks is our best bet of doing just that.
It's a smart move. It is a smart move. One of the best from Defiant Wrestling against one of the best from around the world. Austin Aries, although Bradshaw, it's important to state, and this can't be stated enough, the advantage as champion is with Aries in this match.
Well, let us know who you think is going to win this huge championship match, our main event on this week's Defiant Wrestling. Will it be Austin Aries or will it be Travis Banks? Use the hashtag and join the conversation on social media. The hashtag, as always, we are Defiant.
Incredible athleticism from Austin Aries. One of the best in the globe. Oh, look at this, just riding Travis Banks.
Banks kicks out at one, and Banks, I think, made a point of doing that after Aries was trying to humiliate Banks, as you say, riding him in that kind of amateur wrestling exchange.
Nothing amateur about anything Austin Aries does.
Banks will take Aries down, and this will be a very interesting gauge of how far Travis Banks has come. We're talking about Travis Banks in terms of being in the elite in the independent wrestling world at this point in his career. Well, what better yardstick is there than Austin Aries?
Well, exactly. The roof would come off the building if the Kiwi Bud saw Travis Banks, a man from New Zealand, but a man everyone in the UK wrestling scene considers one of their own. The roof would come off the building if he could do it tonight and take home the title.
Banks with a cartwheel, lands on his feet. Aries ducks down. Banks grabs him. Banks will send the champion and trips him up. Send him to the ropes. He's going to roll him up. Got everything tied up tightly, and Aries had to use all that experience to find a way out of that within that 3-second limit.
Almost a standoff here. I know Travis Banks is on one knee. Now he gets back to his feet. I think Aries slowly but surely is starting to understand why there is such a buzz surrounding Travis Banks.
Yeah, that cocky smile on the face of the champion. It's back now, but it disappeared for a moment. He let the mask slip just for a second there. I think Austin Aries is much more worried about this title defense than he is letting on. By the way, we're hearing that Austin Aries demanded that the referee for this match be changed. You see, it's referee Chris Sharp, who was originally assigned to be Steve Linsky, but after Linsky's involvement in the controversial end to that hardcore title match last week on Defiant, Aries point-blank refused to compete in this match if Linsky was refereeing.
That's the power that being Defiant champion, that's what it brings. Austin Aries can make all the demands he wants. Most of them, if not all, will be met, and that is the power that Travis Banks must take away from Austin Aries. Representing IPW, don't forget.
Guarantee he wouldn't be calling the shot. Oh, look at that from Banks. Banks is getting enraged. I guarantee Aries would not be calling the shots if Stu Bennett was here in person. Bennett leaving the power to make matches with some of our locker room leaders from the Defiant roster. But in the absence of a general manager, Aries has been throwing his weight around. Banks doesn't care though.
I don't want to play devil's advocate. I know our general manager is a very, very busy man, but you can't go missing at a time like this. You can't hand over power willy-nilly to anybody who asks for it. This is a crucial time.
Banks is going to be sent into the ropes. He puts the brakes on Aries, charges at him. Aries comes crashing to the outside.
Uh-oh.
Banks is going to follow him, but Aries caught him. That is the experience of Austin Aries, kicking in right there.
Aries isn't finished.
Speaking of kicking in, Aries just kicking Banks right between the shoulder blades.
We're so used to seeing Travis Banks administer that kind of punishment with the strikes, the big kicks. Austin Aries giving Banks a bit of his own medicine.
Aries follows him in. The forearm, snapmare takedown. Aries will go to the second turnbuckle. And Aries, elbow, again, in that same part of the upper back, goes for a cover with a 2 count. Aries a second away from retaining the Defiant Championship.
Hey, even if Austin Aries was rattled, he damn sure wouldn't show you the champ, one of the most confident men in pro wrestling. A man, by the way, that Travis Banks aspires to be. Think about that.
Look at this. Now Banks is in all kinds of trouble here. Aries with him wrapped up, pulling at that extended right leg, trying to force the submission. See, Banks is trying to adjust his position, see if there's any angle from which he's in reach of the ropes. Oh, instead, he ends up with his shoulders down, and Banks finally gets out with half a second left.
Well, Aries now not happy with referee Chris Sharp. Wasn't happy with other referees. He's not happy with the one he demanded.
He's never happy unless everything goes exactly his way, is he?
Don't tell him I said that, by the way. I don't want some of what you got.
For a man who claims to be the greatest man that ever lived, he certainly does whine a lot, doesn't he?
Well, far be it from me to question someone who has won so many championships around the world.
You'd just run away from him, wouldn't you?
Hey, I'd buy a ticket to see him. This man is box office.
There's no doubt about that, but he is looking like he may be sending Travis Banks to sleep here.
This crowd firmly in the corner of the Kiwi Buzzsaw.
Can you blame them? Can you blame them after what all these IPW people have done in the last few weeks?
No, I have to agree with you on that. Travis Banks, it's very important that you bring home the title.
Yeah, Banks is fading. Banks is fading here. Austin Aries could be seconds away from retaining the title. Banks has found a second wind. Banks did well to get out there, and he has countered. Banks with the side headlock. Banks going for the slice to heaven, he gets it!
Aries is out. Aries is out. Oh, maybe not. There's movement there from the champ. But this is so important for Travis Banks. Has to take advantage. That was a big, big move. A power shift, so to speak.
It's bad luck for Travis Banks. The way their two bodies landed, Banks ricocheted away from Aries. If he'd bounced in the direction of the champion, he could have made the cover quicker, and we could have a new champion right now.
Even if Banks had fallen on top of Aries accidentally, could have won the Defiant World Championship.
These two tearing lumps out of each other now. Aries and Banks for the Defiant Championship, and that one echoed around the O2 Academy in Leeds.
Oh, massive, massive for Travis Banks. Aries took off the elbow pads. The champ was fixed to finish it. Banks said, no, no, no. The Kiwi Buzzsaw very much still in this match.
The leaping lariat from Banks. Maybe going to go for that Kiwi crusher to end it, but Aries found a way out. Banks will try again. Aries knows that is lethal, fatal perhaps, to his position as Defiant Champion if Banks can hit that Kiwi crusher.
Aries was going for the brain buster.
Both these guys trying to finish it.
Going again, going again.
And again, Banks knows he has to get out. Made sure he did his homework. He's had a week to prepare for this. Been practicing, I'm sure, his way out of the brainbuster. Now, instead, a shining wizard from Travis Banks.
Oh.
2 count on Aries.
Oh, look at this. The champion cradling that bottom rope. Austin Aries realizes how close he was to losing the championship.
I think the champ is rattled.
I think you're right.
Aries clinging onto the rope. Obviously, you can't be pinned or submitted if your body's in contact with the rope, so he's trying to buy himself some time.
Aries again to that bottom rope. Travis Banks, well, the referee only doing his job. Oh, suckered in.
Aries once again with those wily veteran instincts.
Oh.
Banks goes to the outside. Aries will charge on the opposite rope. And Aries into Banks on the outside.
That right there is the risks that top professional wrestlers take. And when you're a man like Austin Aries, they are calculated and usually pay off. That one did for the champ.
Agility of a cat, by the way, from Aries to land on his feet as well. Did you see that?
Oh, wait a minute. This is dangerous. Oh,
neck breaker right across the middle rope. Could have snapped Travis Banks' spine in half.
Austin Aries taking his time. Feels he has Banks, the challenger, right where the champ wants him.
Aries, though, needs to stop play into the crowd here. He's taking a run up. Banks doesn't know where the champion is, and that is bad news for the challenger. Finally, Banks, the last second, gets his boot up and into the face of Aries.
Now the momentum with the Kiwi Buzzsaw.
Banks running uppercut. Aries will follow him in. He gets tripped. Aries eats turnbuckle. Banks is fired up. Is the Kiwi Buzzsaw moments away from winning the Defiant Championship? Aries.
That's the experience. Oh!
Banks! Oh my God! Travis Banks takes out the champion. That's how badly Banks wants to be the champ. Here he comes again. Travis Banks for a second time takes out the champion.
Banks must get Austin Aries back inside that ring, pin him for the 1, 2, 3, and make history. These people want to see it, Bradshaw.
It is almost unanimous here in Leeds. We all want to see Travis Banks reach the top of the mountain.
Wait a minute.
Wait! Why are the Prestige are here? Banks, of course, no longer part of the Prestige ever since Ligero and Hendry attacked him.
Oh, Travis Banks says...
Banks takes him out!
He's not going to wait around. He's going to take the fight to the Prestige.
Banks refocusing his attention on Aries. Aries rolls up Banks. I think Aries had the trunks. Banks still kicked out. He's going to try for the brain buster. Second time, he'll go for it. Oh, he got it. He got it. Aries got it. No. Aries, the cover on Banks. Aries retains. Aries retains the title.
The winner of the match, and still Defiant Wrestling Champion, the Truth, Austin Aries!
Dave Bradshaw, I have to defend Joe Hendry, I'm sorry.
Of course you
but
will.
When Travis Banks left the Prestige, Joe Hendry promised to put the Kiwi Buzzsaw in his place. What better way to do that than by costing Banks destiny and the Defiant Championship?
How much ego can you get on the part of Joe Hendry? His personal disdain for Travis Banks means he would rather get his own back on Banks than get the Defiant Championship back from the clutches of Austin Aries and IPW. Austin Aries, still your Defiant Wrestling Champion.
I'm not nuts. I might be from Glasgow, but I'm not nuts. I want you and you in a handicap match. Both of yous.
Well, I'm the best in the country, and I'm opening a challenge to anybody that's considered a legend to come and prove me wrong.